Daystar Peterson, better known by his stage name Tory Lanez, is a Canadian rapper, singer, songwriter, record producer, director, and fashion designer from Brampton, Ontario. Peterson founded the One Umbrella imprint with his brothers in Toronto. He received major recognition from his mixtapes, Conflicts of My Soul, The 416 Story and Lost Cause. In 2015, he released a collaboration EP, Cruel Intentions with WeDidIt Records. His debut album is set to be released in 2016. Early life: Daystar Peterson was born on July 27, 1992, in Brampton, which is a suburban city in the Greater Toronto Area, in southern Ontario, Canada. His father, Daystar Peterson, was Barbadian and Asian, and his mother, Lola Peterson, was Dutch. He and his parents moved to Montreal, before moving to Miami, Florida. Daystar began rapping at the age of 9. When he was 11 years old, he discovered that his mother was gravely ill with a rare disease and she later died. After his mother's death, his father began working as an ordained minister and also a missionary, which caused them to move frequently throughout the United States. Peterson spent most of his young years in Miami, before he moved to Atlanta, Georgia, where he met a janitor Hakeem. Hakeem gave him the name Lanez, because he would see Daystar running around the streets without watching for traffic. Daystar moved to New York City, where he got back into rapping. He later called himself Notorious, because his favorite rapper was Notorious B.I.G. and he was trying to be just like him. However, he didn't want the first name B.I.G., but instead kept the last name Notorious. He would shorten the name with the T, and adding Y, making it Tory, and eventually adopted the moniker Tory Lanez. At the age of 15, Daystar flew back to Toronto, where he found out that he just lost his home, and spent some of his teenage years being homeless. At the age of 16, Lanez began performing songs live, and doing outdoor concerts. When he was 17 years old, he became interested in singing and taught himself how to sing, but never received any vocal training. Lanez attended Fletcher's Meadow Secondary School in Brampton, Ontario. Career = 2009-13, career beginnings and signing to Time Is Money = in 2009, Lanez began pursuing his career in music, when he released his debut mixtape titled TL2TO. In 2010, Lanez posted video on YouTube, challenging a fellow Canadian rapper Drake, to whom he was rumored to be related. The video features him denying these rumors and announcing the $10,000 challenge. While showing Drake respect, Lanez again challenged him, but only if Drake would listen to some of his tracks from his second mixtape Playing for Keeps. Peterson also claimed that if Drake didn't like it, he would personally give to him $10,000. After Drake listened to Lanez's tracks, he allowed Lanez to keep his $10,000. After a friendly battle with Drake, Lanez was still living in South Florida. Lanez began directing some of his music videos, and posted them on his YouTube channel. Sean Kingston was the first to see a video of Lanez freestyling over Lloyd Banks' Beamer, Benz, or Bentley, who seemed to be really interested in his singing skills. In February 2010, Kingston contacted Lanez, telling him to meet up with him, during 10OS's My World Tour, and later got him to perform on their Live. In 2010, Lanez has been getting some recognition from 3 of his self-released mixtapes, with Just Landed, One Verse One Hearse and Mr. One Verse Killer. Due to popularity, it landed him a deal with Sean Kingston's Time Is Money Entertainment record label. After signing to the label, Lanez was busy with the releases of his mixtapes, including Mr. Peterson and Shikstap. After leaving the label, Lanez planned the release of his 8th mixtape Swavy. On January 17, 2012, Lanez released the single, titled Remembrance Day. Lanez claimed that he wrote the song, because he was going through some rough times in his life. While being stuck in Canada, he then realized that didn't have a Visa card at that time. So because of that, he was banned from the United States for 6 months, when all of his connections were in America. The song was made so he could remember what he went through. On March 19, 2012, Lanez released his 9th mixtape Ignorant Shit. On May 15, 2012, Lanez released his 10th mixtape Sincerely Tory. On August 26, 2013, Lanez released his 11th mixtape Conflicts of My Soul, the 416 story. The mixtape preceded the release of 5 singles, including Hate Me on the Low, Driver, Icy Dicey, 14 and 40s, and Know What's Up. On July 3, 2013, the music video for Know What's Up was released. The music video was shot and filmed in Houston, Texas. The music video for Hate Me on the Low were released. 2014 A Present, Lost Cause, Cruel Intentions, and debut album In March 2014, Peterson made his first album appearance on YG's album, My Crazy Life on the songs, Me and My Bitch. In the month of April, Tory released 2 episodes of the Public Swave Announcement, a behind-the-scenes look of him on the These Things Happen tour with G-Eazy and Rocky Fresh. On June 2, Peterson released a song called Tiana, as a tribute to singer Tiana Taylor, after FaceTiming with her. Taylor released a response track called Dreams of Fuckin' and Be Bitch, telling him that she was already taken. On June 6, Peterson released The Godfather, a song to announce that he was going to start a series called Fargo Fridays, only releasing songs, albums, or videos on Fridays on Hot New Hip Hop. He then went to release the songs, I'll Be There, Talk on Road, and Balenciaga's all later that June. After releasing a bunch of freebies from the series, he released the single The Mission to celebrate his tour announcement on August 14. Peterson kicked off his first headlining tour, Lost Cause Tour, in conjunction with the mixtape, Lost Cause. The mixtape was supposed to be released on September 29, but got pushed back to October 1. In an interview, he claimed he has ghost-written songs for Akon, Travis Scott, August Alsina, Meek Mill, and T.I. Peterson owns his own store in Uptown Toronto with the Umbrella Boys called Forever Umbrella and has his own brand of clothes called Christ coming out soon. Peterson states that there will soon be a chain of Forever Umbrella stores. On February 27, 2015, Tory released the music video The Song, Henny in Hand. In an interview with The Fader, Tory said one of my best visuals conceptually, there are very little shots of me, but a huge plot twist. It was also revealed that he was going to release an EP, April 6 on WeDidIt Records. On April 3, 2015, Tory released the single titled In For It for his upcoming EP. The song was produced by electronic musician, R.L. Grime. After that, the EP was delayed. On May 8, Peterson released another song, titled Ric Flair featuring Rory Trustry. On May 22, he released the second single to the EP, titled Acting Like, produced by Schlochmo. The music video was released the same day. On June 19, 2015, Tory announced that the EP would be called Cruel Intentions and released on June 26. That same day the single, Karuek was released. On July 31, Tory released the first single, Say It for his debut album, which is scheduled to be released in 2016. It was also revealed that he signed to Benny Blanco's Mad Love Records and Interscope Records. Musical style. In an interview on Nice Kicks with Ian Stonebrook, Peterson described his own personal style he calls, swavy. Swavy is a 2-adjective word. A lot of people use it as an attribute, but the real definition of swavy is a genre of music. The genre of music is the genre of fusing more than one together. I know it sounds strange, but if you ask an artist what they do, they're going to say that they rap, they sing, they do rock. A lot of people are multi-talented. They get looked at confused, but I don't think that they're confused. I feel that they're just talented, swavy artists. Labels want to put you in one lane, but I feel like there are so many people are more than that and they're swavy artists. Swavy is a very unpredictable thing. You just know it's going to be quality and it's going to be a good. In an interview with Lawrence Neal and Tom Unile, Peterson was asked if there were any artists that inspired him in hip-hop. The art of music in itself is an inspiration. There's no one artist specifically. In my mind, it's much more important to listen to as much music as I can be exposed to, so that my output can be a reflection of all these people. My whole goal isn't a unregistered trademark T to draw inspiration from particular people, but rather good music in all forms. He goes on to say, I'm inspired by life, the misfortunes unregistered trademark they had, and when things are unregistered trademark T so dandy. When I drop any sort of musical project, in order for me to really write good music, I can't unregistered trademark T drop another project until unregistered trademark they lived 6 months of life. And then unregistered trademark LL start writing again. I speak about things that have really happened to me. Even when I say things that are far-fetched, like every rapper does, the difference is that all the far-fetched things unregistered trademark they said in the past have come true. Discography. Shikstap 2, Lost Cause, Cruel Intentions. Awards and nominations. Much Music Video Awards . References. External links, Tory Lanez on SoundCloud, Tory Lanez on Instagram, Tory Lanez on Twitter, Tory Lanez on Facebook, Tory Lanez on Instagram.